Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to stop?
No, it's hit record.
No, I just started. Check. Clap, Craig, late. Now.
Like,
that doesn't help you, but I'm sorry. Just remember Craig just did a little bit back. All right.
Yep.
Are they both dead?
who? Nasty Boys? No, neither one of them are dead.
You know what? That's commendable.
That's making the clips. That's making the Insta
Like
clips
Knobs almost dies every time I see him. Like he has feet problems and fucking like
They're
Knobs
both dead,
dies
right? They're
every time. They're both dead. Well, you never
One
know
of them
anymore.
is dead.
I never know anymore either.
What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Just a Little Package, and Craig, the British Bulldog, bring you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic, what happened to the Nasty Boys? For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. And look to the left for several other video options. And please give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019. Jess will give you a big old kiss.
Dude, what do you do? How you subscribe? I'm a stupid fan.
Whoa, that's not what you meant.
Wow, it's terrible.
We love all of our fans. Thank you for watching.
So, the Nasty Boys. Jess gives me a lot of crap about the Nasty Boys. He's always
The Nasty
saying it's my favorite tag team ever,
Boys.
and it's not. And it's not.
Why, were you always a fan of the Nasty Boys, Dave? Is that why you're saying Jess give you crap?
He was a
Or
huge
you hated
fan.
them?
Shut up, Dave. He was a huge fan, and yeah. So no, I mean they weren't like my top favorite tag team, but I always liked the Nasty Boys, and for all their imperfection, I think that's why I liked them. They were very sloppy brawlers, and there's a lot of matches that like they were involved with, mainly with Cactus Jack. And
I was going to say their WCW run was fantastic. They'll give it and they'll take it. Like I didn't like them in WWF a lot, but WCW, they were fantastic.
I mean, they were, because Vince doesn't allow that. Well, he didn't allow that like back in the early 90s. So he was just like, you're just going to be this quirky tag. Jimmy Hart's going to be your manager, and you guys are going to be like kind of annoying and just really like street fighters. Like, so there was really, they weren't allowed to really be what they wanted to be. But Dave will read on.
We need a
That's perfect. I mean, it's such a perfect example, though. WWE couldn't allow them to be what they really wanted to be. And WCW, you can kind of, okay, this is what you want to do. Let's try it. There's definitely way more ability to say, oh, you want to hit people with garbage cans.
You want to hit people with garbage cans.
Jerry Biff Sags and Brian Buff Knobs were childhood friends growing up in Whitehall Township, Pennsylvania. They both attended Whitehall High School in the Lehigh Valley region of eastern Pennsylvania. While most professional wrestling tag teams were and still are matched up by bookers, Sags and Knobs' friendship led them to form the Nasty Boys without any such professional booking guidance or input. Imagine that. They grew up together. I'm not surprised.
That's kind of cool.
The Nasty Boys, it's kind of cool. They usually, unless you're like full-on brothers, we know.
Or you grew up in Minnesota, which apparently everybody did. So
that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So many wrestlers are like from Minnesota. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Nasty Boys began their career in the American Wrestling Association in 1985. And they began teaming together with the Nasty Boys with a Z in 1986. They began moving up the cards while in Memphis, Tennessee, as a heel team against the Rockers. That was a face team. And in 1988, they moved to the Florida Championship Wrestling spot where they won five tag team championships.
Yeah, I forgot to correct that. It was the Midnight Rockers in the AWA. Midnight Rockers.
Yeah, the Midnight Rockers. That's right. But 5 championships in a span of a year. That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty regional.
It's pretty regional. Oh, hey, the Nasty Boys to me is like, all right, they're the Nasty Boys. You almost never expect a title on them. So when you're talking about 5 anywhere, it's something to me.
Yeah.
In 1990, the Nasty Boys joined a WCW World Championship Wrestling. They initially feuded with the Steiner Brothers. They're from Minnesota.
Those are good.
I'm pretty sure. And we're
Michigan. They're from
Michigan,
them. Aren't they?
Oh, that's from Michigan.
Oh, they went to
not
Michigan.
Minnesota.
I don't know where they're from, but I assume they were Michigan.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And they were unable to defeat those bad boys for the U.S. Tag Team
Dude,
Championships.
I don't
in
care.
December of 1990.
Go back and watch Halloween Havoc 1990. Their match against the Steiner Brothers was so fucking good. It was because the Steiner Brothers didn't give a shit, and they were like, we don't care either. Right. So you could dump us on our head. You could do whatever we want. And then they still gave it back to the Steiner Brothers, even though Steiner Brothers could end it anytime they want because they were so in shape and just legit like wrestlers. But like, Zags and Knobs did not care. Dude, they were doing everything to them. They were bellying them off the top rope. They were doing it was crazy. And the Frankensteiner that Scott finally hits on Knobs, I think at the end was awesome. It's just it was such a good match. Halloween Havoc 1990 for the U.S. tag titles. Nasty Boys, Steiner Brothers, excellent. Yeah. I mean, excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners and still United States Tag Team Champions, the Steiner Brothers.
You're not going to find
the reason they were great is because they could give it as they could take it. They really did. So it's just they were like, whatever you want to do. What do you want to do tonight? Whatever. And they'll take it.
It's a blessing and a curse with the Nasty Boys, Craig, to your point, because if they give out more than they take, they look like assholes. They're not trying to help anybody out because they're not in shape. They're not talented in the realm of mat work. But if someone matches them and even takes them on even harder, like the Steiners, they look like gods in there, taking all that work and putting on a good match. So it's it is definitely it's a curse and it's a total blessing at the same time. But it depends on who you're with. Mick Foley is kind of a different animal. He never put out more than he took. That was his MO. But the Nasty Boys would lay it in no matter who they were in there with, and you were hoping that somebody would match that energy. And to Jess's point, when someone does, it's incredible. And the Steiner Brothers in 1990 at Halloween Havoc is such a prime example of that. So, unfortunately, they left WCW in 1990 to join the almighty WWF. Along with their manager, Jimmy Hart, the Nasty Boys quickly announced their intention to nasticize. Manager, yeah, I couldn't help myself. Because I saw nasticize, I saw words that were made up, so I just thought I'd say manager. The WWF, they became #1 contenders after winning a 7-team battle royal on February 16th of 1991 that aired on WWF Superstars.
Interesting enough, they didn't try to change their name or give them the
it's one of the few people that came in there, whatever.
Did they? But they changed it from a Z to an S. Just keep that in mind.
They did. That was the change.
That's a very good point, actually.
Just drifting. Roma's supposed to be out of there. They were just eliminated. Roma just eliminated Legion of Doom. Animal coming to the protection of his partner. So unfortunately, even though Power and Glory had been eliminated, they made certain Legion of Doom was just eliminated. And that's the second time Animal had gone. Look at this. Look who wins.
Nasticizing the WWF, they became #1 contenders like we talked about, 91. They eliminated Legion of Doom thanks to interference from Power and Glory. Yep. They're pretty good. We should do
It's the only reason why I did this. It's the only reason why I did this episode because there was one reference to Power and Glory for Dave, and I figured he'd go along with it.
Woo! That's my secret shame. Power and Glory. There we go. They would go on to defeat the Hart Foundation at WrestleMania 7 in Los Angeles to win the WWF World Tag Team Championships, March 24th, 1991. Not a good time for wrestling, but that's a little nice point there for the Nasty Boys.
And I don't remember how was that match, Jess? Good.
It was good. It was a good match. It was a very good match. I mean, Hart Foundation. Brett's not going to let anything stink, and it was good. Yeah, but it was really pretty excellent, actually.
Yeah. Them same boys held the title until SummerSlam of same year at Madison Square Garden. August 26th, they were defeated by the Legion of Doom in a no disqualification, no count out match. I bet the pop was amazing.
It was.
That's what they always talk about. Yeah. What a rush. In the fall of 1992, they turned face and dumped Jimmy Hart as their manager after Hart overlooked them for a tag team title match against the Natural Disasters instead of giving them a title shot to Money Inc. Knobs and Sags teamed with the Natural Disasters to defeat Money Inc. and the Beverly Brothers at Survivor Series 92 in Richford Township, Ohio, but the Nasty Boys were unable to regain the titles. All I have to say is that the Natural Disasters definitely probably needed that help from Jimmy, so it was probably a good move. The Nasty Boys probably didn't need Jimmy as much. But I had to say, that Survivor Series match doesn't really do it for me.
It does not. It does not.
Tough sell
It
to
just does
have
not.
the Nasty Boys as faces, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
I'm not sure.
remember it
Yeah.
really, but it's tough.
Today, different story. They'd probably be faces all day long, just doing crazy stuff that they do. And, it's a different world back then. In April of 93, after a European tour, the Nasty Boys were suspended and later fired from the company. What happened, Jess? Do you recall?
I don't. And I remember writing this note going like, I need to go research that. And I did not ever. And I don't remember why. I'm sure it was just bullshit stuff that they did. Because like, I also left out too that they ribbed a lot of people a lot. And they just were sort of involved in like some chicanery all of the time. So like, yeah, it was some misconduct thing if I'm remembering correctly.
So everybody was shitting in bags, and the Nasty Boys probably caught all the blame.
And the last thing they heard was like, "That's my bag," and that was Vince, and that was it. They got fired. That's probably what happened.
I would say, like, if you're gonna make an example of somebody, like, okay, the Nasty Boys, we can let go. It's fine.
Yeah.
And if
Not
you keep
my
it up,
daughter
you're next.
Stephanie's bag
Like-
now, and then they fired him like at that.
They probably smelled like BO all the time too, right? Like they just
Yeah.
look at them. Look at them.
If you smell sour too, Vince is like, just get them the fuck out of here. Like,
Fuck off! I hate fat people.
And again, I feel really bad about saying this because I always go back to Mick because I feel there's a lot of
fat
similarities.
people.
Them same boys returned to WCW in July of '93 as heels, managed by Missy Hyatt. They defeated Arn Anderson and Paul Roma at Fall Brawl in 1993 in Houston, and they became the WCW World Tag Team Champions. We're seeing a lot of gold here, actually.
One of the earlier people, and then of course that because WCW went out in 01, one of the few tag teams to win both.
There it is.
WWF
Yeah,
and
it's true.
WCW.
There's not a lot. You could say, just off the top of my head, it's like Demolition didn't do it, but the Roadrunners, the Road Warriors probably did it. Steiner Brothers did it, right?
Yeah,
But
Steiner's did it,
After
yeah.
that, I'm kind of struggling to find out which ones
Arn
did.
and Tully did it. Like
And
Right,
at
as Brainbusters,
Did they
yeah.
ever feud with each other? I don't recall them ever, or did they?
who?
Ever touching?
Did the Nasty Boys ever feud with each other at any point in their career?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's a rarity. What do you think about it? You're welcome.
He just dropped it.
No. It's like, well, how do you build that up, right? But yeah, they would have made it work now.
I'm nastier than you. No, I'm nastier than you. That's the only feud you could do.
Right. They did though fight Cactus Jack and Max Payne in '94. And
Dude, those were fantastic.
Jesus Christ. So it started.
Spring Stepping '94, right?
It started at Super Brawl in '94, where they had a regular tag match, and it was towards the end of the match, and Max Payne gave an over-the-head belly-to-belly to, I think, Knobs. I'm pretty sure it was Knobs. And the way Knobs landed, his arms got trapped and rotated over as he went over on the suplex, completely dislocated his shoulder. He
Done
got up
instantly.
and he
No
was like,
way, dude.
nasty, like, and his arm was hanging, and like he finished the match. It was fucking brutal. And then, of course, on top of that, Cactus Jack took his normal back bump on the concrete on the outside, and then that led to the rematch at Spring Stampede, which was Max Payne and Cactus Jack against the Nasty Boys, and that match was just balls out crazy. Like, to this day, we've reviewed it and everything. To this day, I can still watch it, and it's just as good as any modern hardcore you could ever see. This shit was crazy. There was one image that sticks in my mind. Well, there's so many images, but there's one of them where I think Sags picked up a light tripod. You know, where it's like the pole and you have the four legs. And he was hitting Cactus Jack in the back, and Cactus had his leather vest on. And you could see, because like, if you could envision a tripod, it's got like four
puncturing the
legs.
leather?
Yeah, and then the whole of the pole, the main pole, because as he would hit Cactus Jack, the legs would give way, because that's what they're supposed to do. And he was, you saw the imprint of the hole stabbing.
On the jacket.
He's stabbing him in the back of the fucking vest. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, and then the fan's camera at the beginning where he bashed it over his head. Like, I was like, it took a camera from a fucking regular big, those big cannons, and he fucking grabbed it and smashed it over Cactus's head.
smashed his head.
Like, it was insane. Everything in that match was awesome. The fucking, when they went
Was
to
that the shovel ending?
Yes, it was when he hit him in the head with a shovel.
I tell you, if the Cubs will hit like that, they'd be in first place. It's over. It's over. Ring the bell. I've seen enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the Falls Count Anywhere match, the World Tag Team Champions, the Nasty Boys.
Sure
Not
was.
a gimmick shovel, like a proper metal show.
He hit him in
snow
the
shovel
fucking head on the
with
thing.
no-
He did it expertly, to be fair to them, but
Yeah,
dude, it was
yeah.
like, what? He just hit him in the head with his shovel. Cactus was laying on the ground with his head on the concrete, and he's just like, boom, like right over the top of his face. But they did it between that pit, between the rail and the ramp, because WCW had the ramp.
Right.
So only the crowd in the front row right there, they all fainted, like whenever like he did it, because they were just like,
They just
like,
swooned.
Just vomiting,
nobody
like,
else could see it. This is back before they had like everything on big. Yeah, they all vomited and just passed out. And it was
my
awesome. Yeah, that match.
I'm not
was
sure
just,
we're.
to this day, that's one of the best hardcore matches I've ever seen. If anybody asked me, show me something, I'll be like, oh, look at this shit. Like, and it's just because they were hitting each other with chairs so fucking brutally earlier, and like,
And was that also the Cactus, like the suplex off the 2 rails? Like
No,
it was on
No,
the
that was
outside in
that
the
was
corner.
against Orndorff. That was against Orndorff.
Okay.
Orndorff did
Oh,
that
sorry.
There's so many almost murders of Cactus Jack. I get they all blend in after a while.
Yeah, they all bleed together literally. I don't know if we're going to top that, but we're going to try. They were supposed to feud with Kevin Sullivan and his kayfabe dyslexic brother Dave, who called himself Evod, which was Dave backwards. Evod, though, he injured his knee.
Thank God.
His ink.
Can you imagine Evod and Kevin Sullivan? Can you imagine Evod and Kevin Sullivan against the Nasty Boys? I don't want to imagine that. And then Cactus steps in here again and saves the fucking thing.
Yeah, he convinced Cactus to team with him, and they lost the titles to a thrown together team of Jack and Sullivan. Was it called Jack and Sullivan?
Jack and no.
It sounds like Jack and Coke.
It's a law firm. It's a law firm.
It's a law firm. Jack and Sullivan. It was a wild street fight at Slamboree.
You've been injured in an auto accident called Jack and Sullivan.
I was just going to say that. Have you been injured in a pro wrestling match? Let Jack and Sullivan represent you.
If you ever pulled over, Jack and Sullivan to give you the tips. Give him
Did
your
Knobs
license.
hit you in the head with a shovel? Call Jack.
Jack and Sullivan got me $2.1 million.
You know the story.
Jack and Sullivan got me 1 week off from the house shows.
Craig, we're still going off track. Craig, did you tell me that they had to stop? I thought it was you or somebody else, but they had to stop giving the lawsuits out.
Yeah.
You couldn't say what you won anymore on the commercial, so it was always Larry Parker got me. You know the story.
You know the story. It's for California listeners, mostly for Larry.
And we all knew it was 2.1 million because we heard it a million times before. Yeah. Didn't matter. Yeah. Son of a bitch. Good for him. 2.1 million back then. I hope it got him a long way. However, in summer '94, the Nasty Boys did not get 2.1 million. They quietly turned face. And Knobs and Sags
They don't get to
went on to feud. They did not get 2.1 million, probably ever. To feud on with tag teams such as Harlem Heat and the Blue Bloods. At Slamboree 95 in St. Petersburg, Florida, they defeated Harlem Heat to become a 3-time WCW Tag Team Champion, but lost the title to them soon after. So that's when you're starting to get a lot of Harlem Heat tag titles. Was it how many times? 10 times for them? It was a lot.
9 or 10. I don't remember.
It was a lot. Yeah, they got at the end they got a whole bunch. In '96, the New World Order offered them memberships in the NWO, but attacked them as soon as they received their T-shirts. Sounds right.
You shouldn't have these shirts on unless I sign this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what the hell are you talking about?
No, what I'm talking about is you don't wear our colors unless we tell you.
Unbelievable.
Take care of the family business for me.
They just wanted to be friends. In a subsequent match against Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, Sag became enraged during the contest after being struck on the head. Is that kayfabe or is that...
No, this is all real. So
it was basically dark space. So to take an object and throw it from that light down to somebody, it was like once it came through that light and the chair hit Jerry, like if this was the seat of the chair, it hit him like almost like that. So in the meantime, Sags comes under the bottom rope, and I see him and Scott exchanging blows in the middle of the ring. And finally, I went outside folded the announce table, came in and opened it up and picked the announce table up over my head, and they all bailed on it. And I turn around and Scott is just pouring blood out of his nose and his mouth.
And bad dental
Yeah.
that came together.
It's such a wash that no one was right, no one was wrong, and I think they were just like, let's just fire the Nasty Boys anyway, or let's fire Sags anyway.
I love it. Hey, Craig, how come
you gonna fire the outsiders?
Yeah, hey, Craig, how come they don't make more complicated trash cans for bears?
Yeah, what are you going to fire Hall and Nash?
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, it's because it's a fine line between the smartest bear and the dumbest human.
Yeah.
Or the dumbest.
That's
Yeah.
I don't know why I made me think of that, but yeah, there's bad dental and a hard belt hit. It's just kind of came together at the right time, just knocked that tooth right out. Anyways, Sags left the company because he was released from his contract in 97.
Bye-bye.
He retired there. Knobbs continued as a singles wrestler and began pursuing the WCW Hardcore Championship. But they did reunite in the Southeast Wrestling Alliance on May 6, 2001.
As people do.
Where they defeated Death and Destruction, Frank Parker,
Everyone's got to
and
get a
Roger
check,
Anderson.
right?
Wow.
Yeah, they were also active in the short-lived XWF and the World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico.
Jesus Christ.
Woo! And November 20th of 2007, Knobbs and Sags
Hola,
rejoined
Puerto
forces as the
Rico!
Nasty
Like they're
Boys.
just trying to speak Spanish like when they're on their promo.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, good luck with that. I don't think they tried that hard. They're like,
Nasty
we'll
Boys
learn it
are-
tomorrow.
Muy and fuego. I don't know. Like they're trying to speak Spanish.
I feel bad. Just give me a bump. We'll learn it tomorrow. Give me a
Nastecitas
bump.
hombres.
No. But in 07, they reunited on WWE SmackDown taping in Tampa, participating in their first WWE match in 14 years. Well, hello there.
Bye-bye.
And on January 4th, 2010, the Nasty Boys made their debut appearance on Total Nonstop Action Wrestling TNA Impact, where they trashed Team 3D's locker room during their absence from a show. While in Japan, this initiated a feud with both teams exchanging physical
Wait a
onslaughts
minute.
with one another.
Timeout.
Right.
Timeout for a second.
Yeah, this sounds good on paper.
It wasn't. No, it doesn't. Like when the episode aired, I kind of vaguely remember this. So the Dudley Boys were in Japan, and then they had an episode of Impact, and they walked into their locker room. I didn't know they had a locker room, even though they weren't there. Like, so why do they have a locker room? Like,
Yes. Okay. Let me just stop you.
You're being such a mark right now.
Set me straight. How does this? I did not know that. Like when wrestlers are away in Japan and they have a Raw or a Nitro, they still set a locker room up for them.
If you have a contract, okay, and if there's a schedule, you get a locker room in every arena in the country, whether you're there or not.
That makes
Nasty
sense.
Boys had a contract.
And if it says red M&Ms only on the table, you still do it. You still do
so
it.
they get their own locker room, even though yes, they're on tour in Japan for a month. They still at the Richmond Coliseum have their own locker room.
I just like that. Like,
pushing this way
but
too
before the Dudley Boys leave,
It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Like, I imagine-
yeah.
I imagine the week before, like the Dudleys going like, all right, everyone, and they announced to everybody, just this is our locker room. We're going to Japan next week. Do not touch anything in this locker room. Yeah. And then everyone's like, we're fucking not. Calm down. Jesus Christ, Bubba. Like, and then they go to Japan and Nasty Boys are like, oh, we don't care. We're nasty. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
So
that's just
funny.
We nasticize your locker room.
so fucking dumb. Fuck you,
It's
Hogan.
our impact zone. Okay,
Fuck you. By the way, this is
all right.
Hogan and Bischoff era. Fuck you, Hogan and Bischoff.
So
Fuck you.
funny. That makes no sense.
At against all odds, the
so
Nasty
funny.
Boys did defeat, this was against all odds, Team 3D in a tag team match when Jimmy Hatt made his return, interfered in the match on the Nasty Boys' behalf. But on March 29th of 2010, they were released by TNA. That's kind of where it ends for them. 2010,
So are they in the Hall of Fame? They're not in the Hall of Fame.
They are not in
It's
the Hall of
crazy.
Fame. No, they're
this
not.
seems like a big omission. Like, why? Let's get them in.
And I mean, if you look at a lot of other people that are in there, like the Nasty Boys deserve it. Multiple time WCW Tag Team Champion, former WWF Tag Team Champions. In all fairness, like, why aren't they in the Hall of Fame? Like,
If the natural disasters are in there, then there's no reason why
that's
not.
a fair point. And again, if you want to say that they're deserved, and I'm saying, I guess it is, like, because after a while, you're just going to put so many people in that you have to just do other,
And if this is because you trashed the Dudley Boys locker room
it might be. Oh shit, Craig, you're right. This
Thank
could
you.
be the ramifications from TNA, like where
Just
and they're
let
doing
bygones
oh
be
shit,
bygones.
they're in a partnership with TNA right now. Oh my god,
TNA's like,
the
yeah,
Dudley
kinda took
Boys
over.
have politicked for years to not have the Nasty Boys in. We have uncovered a major story here on O.W.P.
Yep.
What happened to the Nasty Boys episode? So the Nasty Boys should be in the Hall of Fame, but because they trashed the locker room of the Dudley Boys in TNA, this is fucking, and who has an active partnership right now with WWE, it all fucking makes sense. Wow. Well,
and obviously people in the Hall of Fame can blackball anyone else because there's like a voting from the Hall of Fame committee.
Of course, it's super fair and straightforward, blah, blah, blah.
It's all
like all that stuff. So
That
we
sounds
figured
like
it
bullshit
out.
to me.
So I just really wanted to do this because like the Nasty Boys I remember them vividly, like part of our, youth in pro wrestling and growing up, and Nasty Boys were always there. And even in the down period in like 94, 95 and WCW, like they were right in the middle of the mix, feuding with Harlem Heat and other tag teams as well.
Yeah.
And even mentioned in the same, breath as the NWO when the NWO first started in 96, 97. So, like the Nasty
Working
Boys.
with Steiners, working with Anderson and those guys, working with a ton of people.
Yeah, they've worked with a lot of people as early as like the early 90s, the very early 90s in WCW. So I like Nasty Boys a lot. Like I think they're, I'm not going to put them up there with Blanchard and Anderson and the Steiners and even the Road Warriors. I'm not suggesting that.
Yeah.
But like they had a firm position. I mean, they went back and forth. Obviously, both companies were attracted to them at some point to bring them in. So they had a place there. And for Vince to be like, just put the belt on them, even if they were transitioned between Hart Foundation and Legion of Doom, which is what they were, I mean, still.
Yeah.
Like it's still a place to be in history. You held the WWF Tag Team Championship and the WCW.
They were great hands. And you know what? I don't think I've ever met anybody that owned a Nasty Boy shirt, which is sad, but like they were.
Maybe we should do that.
You didn't really.
Hands. They didn't.
You were
merch,
heels.
as they
You
said.
didn't do heel shirts back then.
Correct.
I kind of get that. So, but their shirts that they made themselves were kind of cool. You could probably get them on throwback now, but
Yeah, I'd wear that like fat shirt with like the arms cut off, like the tie dye or that like.
I personally was not the biggest fan of the Nasty Boys, but I do understand everything that Jess is talking about.
you.
And just,
Thank
you
you.
have to respect what they. You have to respect what they
all
did.
I ask.
mean, and like I said, whenever you put like a no rules into it, and you brought shovels in, you knew it was going to be a fucking banger.
Whenever I saw like a tables match or a hardcore, I'm like, okay, this is going to be fucking, they're not going to give a shit. Like, they're just going to start throwing stuff. And like, they were fun.
And I feel like it wasn't like, maybe the end was totally scripted out, but everything in the middle was like whatever you get your hands on. Like, you found a toolbox, cool. You found a pail top, cool. Whatever. Cool. But like, where's the shovel? That's the most important thing. That's how we got to finish this. Like, that's all. It's all they cared about. I mean, that's what I really believe the Nasty Boys did. I don't think they really planned out much. In the middle of the match with the Steiners, they're probably like, hey, you think you can, take me to the very top and, Steiner from there, suplex from there? Like, what can you do? And Scott's like, fuck it, let's see what we can do. Like that. I just think that's how they rolled. So you have to respect it. It's old school. It's not around anymore at all. Nobody gets to wrestle like that anymore. Maybe some AEW stuff you can still see it, but you're not.
Thank you, Nasty Boys.
Yeah, Nasty Boys were super fun. Like legit. That's why I really wanted to do this episode. They were super fun. So this was great. They should be Hall of Fame. They should be in the Hall of Fame, and they deserve their flower. I mean, you won the two major federations tag team championships. I don't know what else you have to do. Yeah. And I know,
obviously, they've got one more
it's
run
given
in
to
them,
people.
so.
I know it's given to people. What did you say?
One more run.
Obviously, they have one more run in them. So
yeah, they might. You never know.
That means we all do. If they do, Jesus, they got to be so beat up. Like I said, they put.
We know that Knobs has had health issues lately, so we hope he recovers. And let's just wish the best for the Nasty Boys. But they were super fun.
There's no way this guy's got both their original hips. There's no way.
Take us home, Evad.
Yeah, man. EVAD, there it is. I knew it was coming. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, and Hero Radio, or watch our videos on YouTube at our Wrestling Channel. You can look on the screen for several options there for you. And please give Jess an absolute heart attack and follow us on Instagram at O.W.P. 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast if you're that political about it. For Jess Craig and myself, this is the O.W.P. signing off. Have a good one.